Simply put, a lot of people despise Ann Coulter, the conservative firebrand, because of her malevolent and acid rhetoric. Other people love her and her creed of liberal villainy. So is it possible to have a conversation with her in which no one gets mad? Well, tonight Dan Harris finds out in the Nightline interview.
For more than a decade now, she's been making the right cheer and giving the left heartburn. Ann Coulter, the lanky, leggy liberal hater with the golden locks, upper crusty drawl, and acid tongue. Is it ever uncomfortable for you to be hated?
That's a funny question. Not really. Not really.
You've been called, as you said, a fascist, a lying liar, a telebimbo, a skank, a huckster of ideological hate. None of this ever gets to you?
Not in the least. The only people who hate me more than liberals are conservative authors who don't sell as many books.
She says name-calling is a sign of liberal desperation, although she is the one who has been quoted as calling Hillary Clinton pond scum and Pamela Harriman, the now deceased U.S. ambassador to France, a whore. And that's not all. Taxpayer-supported parasites, those are public school teachers.
Well, they are.
But whether you believe it or not, it's still a name. An epithet.
Well,
parasite.
Sometimes facts are unpleasant things, but someone who lives off the taxpayer is a parasite.
My point is, why is it okay when you do it?
I don't think that's a name-calling. I think it is a harshly accurate fact.
Coulter says she first learned how to make her voice heard during political discussions over dinner, competing for airtime with two older brothers.
Let me just say, these tales of torture from Guantanamo, I think, are nothing. Try growing up with my brother Jimmy.
After college, she became a lawyer, advising Paula Jones in her sexual harassment suit against Bill Clinton. But her notoriety truly started to skyrocket in the late 1990s when she started working as a TV commentator and writing fiery conservative books.
And I don't think people should get upset at what I say. I think I make some excellent points.
You don't think you've ever said anything that crossed the line?
No.
Not one thing?
No.
So nothing in the whole pantheon of Ann Coulter quotables?
No. No.
Her new book, called Demonic, says the Democratic Party is like the mob from the French Revolution, which literally chopped off the heads of its enemies. You seem to be arguing that the only way to deal with Democrats, the mob, as you call them, is violence.
Not exactly.
Well, listen, you say Republicans are the party of peaceful order, Democrats are the party of noisy, violent mobs. A mob cannot be calmly reasoned with, it can only be smashed.
I'm against mobs, so, I'm not saying go out and punch a Democrat today, but when the mob arises, it must be you overreact to a mob because you can't reason with a mob. Coulter
may be a fiercely satirical writer, attacking her opponents using humor, but one thing she doesn't joke about is her faith. She is a devout evangelical Christian. Do you think Jesus would approve of everything you've said in the course of battle?
I think I'd have more of a problem with my private life, which I'm not discussing, than I would with anything in my public life. Maybe he'll say, this joke was too much sarcasm here, Ann, or this joke, we don't approve of it, and I'll just say, sorry, I got it wrong. Thanks for dying for my sins.
No husband, no kids. That is rare among evangelical Christians. Does that make you sad, or is that by design?
I'm sorry, that is such a question I would never answer. No, it doesn't make me sad, and no, I am not talking about my private life. I'm single for the reasons I think most people are single. Haven't found the person I should marry.
Is it hard to find people when you're as opinionated as you are?
Oh, no. It's hard. No, you're luring me into talking about my private life. I'm not falling for that.
Coulter describes herself as a solitary person. She travels a lot, speaking on college campuses, doing book signings, and making TV appearances. She works most days until the wee hours and sleeps until noon. And she admits to having some liberal friends. But when you describe liberals, you say they hate America, they hate God. So how can you be friends with somebody like that?
Oh, that's so catchy. The liberals who are my friends, I'm running through them in my head. I don't think any of them hate America.
You've talked about this publicly, that you've dated liberals.
Yes. It was a long time ago.
Which, of course, raises the question, is this all an act, a shtick?
If we were meeting over cocktails, I'd be behaving the same way. And that is something I think anyone who knows me will tell you.
And with that, Ann Coulter was off. For Nightline, this is Dan Harris in New York.